Before we go right in, there's a question. There's a question we all have to answer. And our speaker is also looking out for our answers, right? So here, in one word or a short phrase, how would you describe your current approach to structure and systems in your work or personal growth journey? So let's go. In one word or short phrase, how would you describe your current approach to structure and systems in your work or personal growth journey? So you can type on the chat, and if you want to speak to us, please write on. You can just unmute and speak to us. So let's get to hear from someone on the call. So you can actually unmute and speak to us. So in one word or a short phrase, how would you describe your current approach to structure and systems in your work or personal growth journeys? So let's go. Let me see the chat. Embracing. Interesting. Dan, I can see your chat. Yes, thank you, Lua Fumito. So in one word, Aderonke says it's embracing. She has just described what our approach to structure and systems in her work or personal life journey is. So what's yours? Would love to read from you. We would love to read from you. So let's go. The chat is still opened. In one word, how would you describe your current approach to structure and systems to your work, in your work or personal growth journey? So if someone can unmute, you can unmute and actually speak to us if you are not typing. So let's go. Who wants to speak to us? Okay, Dan says gradually growing in it. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Damope. So can we get someone else in the chat, or you can unmute and speak to us? You can unmute and speak. So let's get one more and we will kickstart the conversation. How is your current approach to structure and system in your work or personal growth journey? So while we are getting other comments coming in, I would move on to the next slide. So we get to meet our speaker for today. And by the way, the topic we would be considering, okay, I can see a chart already. So let's read that. So Kemi says, learning to put structures and systems in place, right? So well done, Kemi. Well done, Kemi. So I'm hoping that after today's call, you would get to move a step further from where you currently are at, right? Olayide says gradual implementation. And I'm sure it's not a one-time thing, right? We are not expecting you to get it all right as a goal. No, the gradual steps, the baby steps, like the little changes, the little moves, right? So you're still in line, and well done, Olayinde. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If I made a mistake, please apologies. All right, so let's get to meet our speaker for today. We have the person of Oyindamola Ayodeji-Oni. She is a seasoned pharmacist, a business analyst, and certified lead auditor for quality management systems with an impressive 11 plus years of multifaceted experience across various sectors. Her expertise spans healthcare, market research, consulting, regulatory affairs, and health tech, and she demonstrates a comprehensive understanding of the intricacies within each sector. She currently holds the position of Vice President for Quality Assurance and Government Relations at Advantage Health Africa, a leading health technology company in Nigeria. Oyindamola is recognized as a business structure and systemization expert. Just a minute, let me. Okay, all right. So, and has worked with numerous small and medium-sized businesses to design systems, policies, SOPs, and comprehensive business structure frameworks, and tools to streamline processes and create efficient systems. She also serves as a coach for the business structure track of the Business Accelerator program organized by My Pharmacy Growth Hub. Over the course of 3 cohorts since inception, she has coached approximately 100 retail pharmacy owners and managers. Complementing these efforts, Oyindamola has authored 2 books, Dear Business Owner and Unscrambled, on business structure and systemization, each focusing on business at different levels. She's popularly known on the street of Instagram as the business structure girl. So with our favorite emojis, with our clapping emojis, let's welcome our speaker for tonight in the person of Oyindamola Ayodeji-Oni. So let's go. Please pour the love in, pour the love in. I can see it coming in. Thank you, thank you. Let's welcome her. Let's welcome her. Drum rolls, please. Drum rolls, drum rolls. Yes, yes, yes. Welcome, Ma. Welcome, welcome. And thank you for sparing out time to meet with us. We can't wait to learn from you. So over to you, Ma. Okay, you are muted. You're muted, yes.
Yeah, please confirm that you can hear me now.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Thank you to Tosin for bringing me on board. I mean, it's been what, maybe a number of years since she mentioned first that one day she's gonna have me on one of her events, and I'm like, okay, let's see how that goes. And here we are today. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chineye, as well. I hope I got your name right. So I mean, it's a public holiday, so I think we should just go right ahead so that we don't take too much of your time. Today I'm going to be talking about systems and structure. I need to share my screen, please. I sent a request. I don't know who is gonna approve that.
Yes, you can now.
All right, thanks. All right, please let me know if you can see my screen. I'm trying to collapse this end,
yes,
but I'm unable
We
to.
can't see your
All
screen.
right. All right, great. Okay, so my name is Oyindamola again. I trained as a pharmacist, but here I am doing many other things apart from core pharmacy. Today we're going to be talking about establishing structure and systems for visionaries and rising stars. That's exactly what the topic was that was given to me. And basically, I have subtitled it a practical session for balance, for clarity, and for growth. So basically what I'm hoping that at the end of this session, we'll be able to have is that everybody will be able to understand the concept of structure and systems and why they matter. They would also be able to identify areas in their business, in their career, or personal lives that need to be structured. They will be able to understand what practical frameworks they have or they need to create and sustain structure. And then again, most importantly, I believe, begin to develop a personalized action plan for implementation. So a little about me. Chineye already read, so I'm not going to read this anymore, but that's a little about me. So yeah, the big elephant in the room: structure, structure, structure. So if you have run your business for no matter the length of time, one of the things you would have heard, or if you even are planning to start a business, one of the things you will have heard, as a word or as a phrase being thrown around is you need to structure your business. Well, structure is very important. Structure this, structure that, structure everywhere. But for many people, it's really like, okay, I've heard you, but what's the big deal, right? What's all of this thing about structure? You have to structure your business. You have to ensure you structure your business and all of that. Is it not something else that people have come together with so that they can make us spend our money? Is it not something that these people that have gone to business school have brought and they want to take our money from it? My mommy has run her business for 45 years and she doesn't have a structure. My grandmother is a successful businesswoman. She has 5 stores in Lagos Island, but there's no structure there, right? So what exactly is the big deal? I would say that as far as I am concerned, and you can say maybe that's because I am a business structure coach. Maybe, maybe not, we'll know. But I believe that structure is probably the most important thing you need to make your business grow sustainably without you losing your mind. I'm not saying it won't grow, but it's either it doesn't grow sustainably, it grows today, it goes up today, comes down tomorrow, or in the process of it continuing to grow, you lose your mind. Something's going to give. But it's also possible that nothing gives. And I would say that if I'm going to equate it, I would say structure is that thing that is like a foundation that you build upon, right? So for many people, they understand the concept of building a foundation before they build a house, but struggle with the concept of creating a structure before you run a business. I would say the best time to structure a business is before you start. But let's assume you've started. Today is the next best time, and you need to start, structuring your business like right now. So what is structure? Structure is that repeatable framework that simplifies your decisions, helps you to avoid overwhelm and increase clarity, and then make consistency possible and enable scale. So something you might have also heard a lot of times might be, I want to scale my business now. And then many people are not exactly sure what does scale mean. Scale practically means growing in capacity and being able to do more without a corresponding increase in cost or resources. So for many people, what happens is that if they are producing 500 items and they have 10 staff, to produce 5,000, they need to have 100 staff. It's a commensurate increase in cost for result. But what scale does is that scale helps you to be able to produce that 5,000 with maybe 20 people as opposed to 100, right? And we'll see how as we go on. Now, in business, we would say that structure is the organization of the different elements of your business in a way that the operations will go on efficiently and smoothly, even without the physical presence of the business owner. So you don't have to wake up and go to the office every day for the business to run, because other people or other things are ensuring that your business continues to run, right? So whether that is the people in the business or the systems that you have created. And we're going to see how it is going to be. It has to be the systems you have created to ensure that the business continues to run. The point is for you to say that you have successfully structured your business, it needs to be able to run without any particular person being around. I'm not saying nobody will be around. I'm saying whether it is Chineye that is around, or Oyindamola that is around, or Tosin that is around, the business will run. Because there is something that any of us can look at and ensure that we are following to ensure that we get the same results. right? And before I go far, I'm just going to go ahead and, talk about what is the difference between systems and structure. So many times we hear systems and structure, and sometimes, like, are we talking about the same thing? I'm just going to say this. A system is a part of a structure. Systems are not structures, or a system is not a structure. A system is one part of the many moving parts that make up your structure. It is a mighty big part, yes, I agree, but it is only a part, and I will explain as we go along. So structure is how everything fits together. So you have a house, and you have where the kitchen is, and you have where the rooms are, and you have where all of that is. That is like, the foundation, the body work of what you have. And then a system now becomes your plumbing system. That's a system now. The way that the light works and the earth's connected to, I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. That is a system. But you can't just come and connect light or put together a plumbing system when you haven't built the frame. You will have just literally wasted your time, and you don't want that to happen. So it's important that in understanding, that we have systems and we have structure. They sound alike, they work together, but they are not the same. So why do you need to structure your business if you have a business here? And I'm going to talk about structuring your business and a very little bit of, structuring your personal life. So why do you structure your business? First of all, as a business owner, you want to put an end to recurring mistakes and errors. So somebody keeps making a mistake on how to package the order. Today, they send the order from Ibadan to Lagos instead of from Ibadan to Lokoja. They didn't read the words well, and so they didn't know. Or they send it from Kaduna to Kano instead of from Kaduna to Katsina. The first few times, maybe the people that this happens to might say, okay, you made a mistake. But when it is recurrent, when it happens today and it happens next week and it happens 4 times, and I've patronized you 6 times, and 4 out of those 6 times, there has been
I know this woman.
an issue. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, you can hear you.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks. So let's say that 6 times, 4 times out of those 6 times, I have had to complain. Then something is wrong. And when you are able to, manage recurring mistakes and errors, you're able to use your resources more efficiently. When we're talking about resources, many people will think of money. Yes, money is one, but you have other resources that a lot of times business owners do not even know that they are wasting. Resources like time. Unfortunately, time is that resource that you can't exactly get back if you've used it for what it's not supposed to be used for. Resources like social capital. So I started to patronize you because I like you, or because you are my sister's friends, brothers, this, that, that. Or you attend my church, or I met you somehow, and I just thought, I try and patronize you. You have something I need, I'll buy from you instead of buying from someone else. That's social capital. But if you misuse the social capital and over again, then you can't get it back, and it's gone. So the problem is that many people think as long as we're making money, as long as we're saving money, we're fine. They don't know that there are some things that you lose and you might not be able to actually get it back. You also have resources like, for example, if you have a store, a physical store, you are able to use up every space of your physical store or of your office space very efficiently if you're able to structure your business properly. Of course, if you are if you have efficient use of resources, you would increase your revenue and consequently increase your profit. You will ensure that your customers are satisfied. You would ensure that your business can run in your absence, because you know that all of these 4 things I mentioned earlier, you might still be able to handle it if you are there, right? But being able to ensure that happens when you are not there is king. And if you are able to ensure it happens when you are not there, then you can start to say, okay, now we're ready to scale. And in that scale, I am not going to lose my mind. So why do you need to structure your personal life? Yes, you're a business owner. Is it that as long as you structured your business, you're good? I would say that structuring your business and structuring your personal life would work hand in hand, and we'll see why. But it's also very important that one does not affect the other. So structure would help you to prioritize what matters most in your personal life. Now, I'm trying to see how I can explain. So structuring your personal life might not be as technical as structuring your business, meaning that maybe you don't need to exactly create policies for anyone, but you have a lot of things that guide your personal life that help you to say, okay, this is what's going to happen at this time. Structure is what enables you to be able to manage your time perfectly. If you're good with time management, you probably have some level of structure in your, in your personal life. Structure helps you to achieve consistency. So whether that is in your finances, in your relationships, in your even in self-care. Some people have a calendar notification of the time when they're supposed to go and get a spa treatment. That's some level of structure. Some people who have helps and nannies, the nannies know exactly what to do at every single point in time. That is structure, right? If you have a full timetable, for example, that is some level of structure. The point is, it is there and it is helping you live a better, more consistent life. It's going to help you. If you structure your personal life, you're going to have some reduced stress and anxiety. You have a bit of work-life balance. I know that, on this side of the corporate world, we say there is no balance. There's just some level of integration. However, you are able to, with the structure you have, know that, okay, this can work and this can work. Structure is also going to ensure that you're able to experience some level of personal growth and productivity. Right. So what areas do you structure in your personal life? I just want to talk about this before I move on to business proper. Finances. So you structure how you save, how you invest, what amount of money do you save per month, all of those things, automating your savings and all of that. That is some level of structure. Health and wellness. If you exercise, if you do health checks, and they are not random. I think the point here is these things I'm talking about, you want to ensure that they are not random. It's not that, oh, I exercise today and then I don't for the rest of the year. Oh, I save today and I don't for the rest of the year. That's not consistent and that's definitely not structured, right? Personal development. The number of books you read per month, the number of courses you take, what you do with the courses you take after you've taken them. So if you join this class, for example, that's, I believe, personal development. But if you go away from here without implementing anything, then maybe not. You've just attended another class. It's exactly not going to develop anything in you. You are able to, you also need to structure your home and your environment. Depending on how it works, if you have help, how does it help plan market runs? If you don't have help, how do you do your market runs? Do you combine your market runs with something else? Do you do school runs? Do you do cleaning? Do you do all of that? For example, I used to have a nanny, but I don't have one right now. But I have people who come to clean my house on specific days of the week. And so that end is taken out of my hand. They know when to come, and when they come, they know what to do. So that entire thing is taken out of my hand. I can focus my time. I don't have to consistently tell them every time they come to clean, do this, do this, do this, do this. No, I've done it, I've moved on. And so when they're cleaning, I really can, if I'm at home, take my legs up, do something else. I'm not bothered with them. That's some level of structure. I mean, structuring, if you're married, probably have heard of date night and stuff. It's also some level of structure so that those things don't fall apart. If you're able to do it and how you're able to do it, all of
Okay, I think facilitators internet is currently not stable. So please kindly give her some minutes.
All right, thank you. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right. But you will join us back shortly.
apologize. I didn't know that I was out. I don't know where I stopped.
Welcome back. Thank you. You were talking about the fact that we need to have structures and so that things don't fall apart. Yeah. Yeah, I talked about all the personal areas of structure. You talked about wellness, and then you rounded it up by saying that it's required so things don't fall apart.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So let me go back to sharing my screen and then so I was talking about spiritual or mental wellness, how you can structure that, ensuring that you have set times that you read your Bible, you pray, you do all of those things. It's very easy, especially for people that work maybe 9 to 5, or even, let me not say worse, but even more seriously, you have a full-time job, you're also running a business, or you're building a business, you're building something on the side. It almost feels like time is not enough. And except you put some level of structure into that area of your life, it's very easy for it to fall apart, right? I struggled for a while, especially when I stopped having a nanny. I struggled for a while until I realized that, you know what, I'm going to put an alarm on my phone. And at that time, as much as possible, I drop everything and I go to read my Bible, right? You can pray on the go, you can do all of that, but you even need to sit down and focus. So I'm just saying some level of structure. And again, structure is not something that is aloof. It's not something that is just one word that is just flying all over the place. It's something that is practical, and it's not something that is out of reach. Because I know that for many people, when they hear structure, they first get overwhelmed. They don't even understand it. I was having a one-on-one session with someone, and I was saying, okay, you need to do this and do that. And she was telling me, but those things are basic. And I'm like, okay, great, they're basic, but tell me that you have them. You don't have them. You've heard them before. You feel like this is not what I mean. But I'm here to say If you do this, you will understand that this is actually what you need. Because setting that alarm for me actually just changed everything. For many people, if not that you had to go to church, for example, on a Sunday, they probably won't go, right? Because Sunday is just in your head, like Sunday mornings we go to church. And it's something that has now been formed around you. So it's part of the way that your life goes, right? So it's important that at least these six sections that I mentioned in your personal life, you do your best to see how you can structure them and make them work. Great. So now we go back into business, because I believe that that's what many people actually need. But correct me if I'm wrong. So when we hear structure, like I said, oh, structure is like foundation. Structure is to a business. What a foundation is to a. So what are the things you now put together to say, I have built a structure? And I'm also going to say that this can also apply to personal lives, even though that where I have deliberately carved them out and said, okay, this is building structure for your business. And the first is a vision, right? You just need to know what's your vision. What do you want to achieve? Where do you see yourself going? I know you probably have entered a business and then you see their vision, their mission, and all of those things on their wall, and you're like, all of these people are just talking about it. But the point is that vision, I think Chinaya said everybody here is Christian, correct? I'm not sure. I thought I heard that. I wanted to be sure.
Yeah, she mentioned that. She mentioned that. Yeah.
Okay, great, thank you. So, because I wanted to say some Bible stuff. So the Bible says that write the vision and make it plain. There's a reason for that. So that everybody who says it can run with it. So that even you, when you see it, can run with it. It's very easy for us to forget what we are trying to achieve in the course of the day-to-day activities of life. Very easy. And yeah, while I mean, many people will talk about vision boards, all of those things are write the vision and make it plain. So in whatever way that you want to make your vision plain, whether you want to have it written somewhere on your phone, whether you have it written at the back of your, wherever, just make sure that somehow you can look at it and say, okay, I want to achieve this and I am working towards it. You will see many businesses say things like, oh, to be the first, this, to be the biggest, this, to be the, I don't know, fastest, cheapest, whatever the word is. The point is that vision, and of course, the mission that you created your business for, things that will now help you to direct the course of the activities that you take within the business. Same with life. And you know, there's a lot of story around know your purpose, know your purpose, know your purpose. But the point is that when you do know your purpose and you have a vision that is clear, you are able to direct the course of your life. You are able to take actions, take steps towards what you want to achieve with your life, with your business, right? Your vision is what you are saying, where you want to go, where you want to get to. Your mission is the reason for being. Why did I create this business? Oh, I created this business to help plus size women feel good, no matter their size. I created this business to help busy moms feed their children the best meals. I created this business to help business owners create businesses that can thrive with or without your presence. I created this business to help African businesses build generational businesses, build businesses that will live 100 years, even if they started from a small place. Mission. So when I know the mission for this business, I know the things I can do, the things I cannot do. I know the new product lines I can venture into. I know the product lines that are not my business. I know the activities I can register for. I know the trade fairs I can attend and the trade fairs I can't attend. I know the people I can approach to partner with my business. And I know those that even if they have all the money, that is not the kind of thing I want my business. Apologies. I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. Anyway, I know the kind of people I want my business to be associated with. All of that will stem from you knowing your vision and your mission. A very close third is core values. And what are core values? Core values are things that you have decided that this is what I live my life by, right? No matter what. Because when you see core values, you realize that they are really just a group of words: integrity, support, oriented, Africa-wide. Name the word. Name the word. Visionary, audacious, strategic, excellence. Name the word. It can be a core value. But what makes your core value a core value indeed is the fact that you stand by it no matter what. It's very easy for us to, look away and just try to, take the shortcut out of when there are issues. The point is that for you, when you have decided that integrity is my core value, if you create the product and you see that this product, I have not put my best into it, or then there's like some shady things going on here, I will never do it. That is my core value. If you say that excellence is your core value and you have created the stuff and you see that it doesn't exactly look like I desire for my products to look, your core value of excellence makes you say, I cannot deliver this product. And the reason why this is important, the reason why having core values early enough is important, is that it helps you to make decisions that might sometimes be hard, right? It's not enough. It's not enough to say excellence is your core value, and then I buy your product and I see that where you were supposed to have sewn it through or whatever, where you are supposed to have sewn it through or whatever, you have put gum that is looking so tacky and unappealing. That no longer shows that excellence is a core value, right? Excellence, or let me not just dwell on excellence, but any word, just look at it and say, any word that you have chosen to be your core value has to be a word that you are ready to stand by, even when it's not the easiest thing to do. Even when, it's hard. Even when it means you have to refund your clients. Even when it means you have to say no to getting investment from someone, or to raising funds from someone, or to employ a certain type of person. Those core values will drive you. And it's important that before you start to get into those murky waters, those, unstable levels, you have decided what your core values are. Then we also have strategic objectives. Basically, what your strategic objectives are would be broad statements of purpose, something that moves you from your vision to your goal. So you have a vision, but then you have goals. And your goals are basically like, okay, you have short-term goals, 1 to 3 years, you have long-term goals. But a vision is something that goes further down, more than those. And you want to ensure that you can strategically now make plans of how to go with your goals, how to ensure that your goals are achieved and your vision eventually can come to pass. Then, let me know if you are with me. Um,
Fully with you. Well done.
all right,
Yes,
thank
we
you.
are.
Thank you. Okay, then after you have created your strategic objectives, then you have controls. Controls for me, I feel like if many business owners actually create controls or figure out their controls early, they won't be so scared of structuring their businesses. Because for many people, you hear things like, oh, I don't want them to know how much money I make. And that's why I have to be the one confirming every payment. I don't want them to know what the account balance is. And that's why I want them to, I don't want to let them go and make the orders from our suppliers or things like that. And ask people questions. So imagine that you own a bank. And I know somebody say, but I don't own a bank. But you want your business to grow and you want to make money and you want to be big. But yes, you don't own a bank, but imagine that you own a bank. The founder of that bank does not even know what's happening at branch level. He only knows what he's supposed to know, which might be a one-pager of what has happened, right? At the every quarter, they only get one pager of what has happened. So how many people came in, all of those things. It's not really what you're supposed to, because when you are focusing on those nitty-gritties, because you have not released control, it's going to take your time. Imagine that you have to pass every marketing whatever that goes out. You have to know everything that they bring into the business. You have to confirm every payment. You have to be the one to call the supplier of every product. If you have artisans, you have to employ all of them by yourself. By the time you've done all of that, your real role as founder or as CEO or whatever other role you hold in the business, you are not able to focus on, because these things I just mentioned can take the entire day, and you'll just be there putting out fires. In the midst of confirming payments, you realize that somebody has sold something that they're not supposed to sell, or you get a feedback that they sold products that maybe have expired, or you get, all of those things just continue to affect you, and you're unable to actually do the business or carry out your executive functions in the business. So controls, financial controls, quality control, let me see, operational controls, marketing controls, if you may, anything that you think I want to hand over to a certain level, you create a control for. There are, you can, you go into a fast food store and you see something like, if you don't get a receipt, your food is free. That's control. Because for you to get a receipt, they must have entered what you brought into their system. So if somebody is trying to play a fast one and not input what you brought into the system for inventory management, you can call them out and say, I don't have a receipt, and so I'm not paying for the food. You go into a place and you see them, they put their account number on the wall and say, account number for payment. Don't pay into any person's account and things like that. All of those things are controls. For some other businesses, you will see they don't open their store unless more than one person is around. That is control. For some other person, you see, you can't approve sales of over this amount unless one manager is around. That is control. You go into ShopRite and you buy something like, no, it's so expensive, I want to drop it. And they call out to one of their bosses and say, please come and do this return. That is control. So while you might not be doing control on that level, you need to ensure that as a business owner, some level of control is in your business. Using mystery shoppers, if you are maybe you don't work fully in the business, you have an employee, a mystery shopper going into your business is a form of control. The point is, they never really know when that person is going to come. So the point is, you are at least believed to be on your best behavior every time, because you don't know if the last person you attended to was a mystery shopper, right? I once worked for an organization where we never went into an office, or we hardly went into an office. Our work was on the field. You leave your house, go into a pharmacy, and then when you get the pharmacy, you put it there. I got to this pharmacy 8:45 a.m. You put the address of the pharmacy, you put everything there, and that was it. When you're going on a break, you're expected to send a message to say you went on a break. When that's how the work was. How did they ensure that this thing worked well? It was because when we started working, they told us that periodically they will send out mystery shoppers, right? Immediately you've said the name of the pharmacy you are in, you can expect a mystery shopper. And because what the work was like, you have to write down the name of products that were bought, and if the products were changed, and it was a technical stuff. But a mystery shopper might not have come into your space for 3 months, and then they show up one day. If on the day that the mystery shopper showed up in that business, you were not there, or they saw you, quite all right, but what they bought, you didn't capture it properly, you are deemed to have not done your job well. You cannot prove that the other days they didn't come, you did it well. And that was it. So because you don't even know when, and of course you don't want to lose your job, you have to just do what you're doing and do it properly, right? Then now we have systems. Like I said, there is structure and there are systems. Systems and structure are not the same thing. Systems are a part of structure, but a big part. So I'll talk about systems in the next slides. And then we have accountability. Accountability, because if you, first of all, as a business owner, don't stay accountable to all of these things that we've spoken about, you can't expect anybody else to stay accountable to them for you. And that's why many times, if you maybe are trying to raise funds as a business owner, you get to a particular stage in your business, they start to ask you questions about, do you have a board? Why? Because if you have a board, that board is expected to keep you as a business owner accountable. And then you as a business owner, you as a founder, you as a CEO, then go ahead to keep your team accountable, right? Many times, many people do not want to actually stay accountable to anybody, and that's why they start a business. You hear, I don't want to work for anybody, I don't want to report for anybody, I want to wake up when I like. But it doesn't exactly work like that. If you want to build a business that's going to last more than 100 years, you can't just decide to do things anyhow you like, pick your phone when you like, go to work when you like, without ensuring that things have been properly run. Now, I put here at the bottom that if you have a team, you then also need to consider what your company culture is like, and your team itself, the quality of your team itself, as part of the building blocks of your business structure. The quality of your team will start from a team that understands what your vision is, what your mission is, and what that culture that you're building, they have to resonate with it, right? So now let's talk about systems. So what is a system? A system basically is a repeatable, major word, repeatable set of actions, processes, tools, or routines that help you achieve a specific goal efficiently and consistently without relying on memory, motivation, or guesswork. What does that mean? If I say that this is my financial system, it means that it stays as my system. Whether Oyinda is operating the system, whether Tosin is operating the system, whether Aderonke is operating the system, whether Chineye is operating the system, that system works the same way. The only way that can happen is that that system is documented somewhere so that a social experiment that was done at a point where they will still do it from time to time, where one person is going to speak into another person's ears, and then you are supposed to then I speak into Chineye's ears, Chineye speaks into Aderonke's ears, Aderonke speaks into Tosin's ears, and it goes on and on. And then the last person is asking, what did I say? And you'll be shocked at how different what I said is from what the person is saying. Because it has a lot of different people down the line. Everybody has interpreted it with their own nuances, their own biases, and it's just gone on and on. However, if I have written it down and I said, this is it, and they continue to pass that paper down to the last person, we will have the same thing. That's what a system is. A system is repeatable because you have documented it, because you have it written down, you have refined it, you have defined it. It is clear to every one of us. All of us that are coming into it to look at the system see the same thing when we're looking at it. Right? There's no guesswork. There's no whether this person knows it or this person doesn't know it. That's not there. Right? It is the same and it gives the same result. Now, for many businesses, you have maybe your financial system, customer management system, you have many systems, but the point is your systems are basically code words, like I put it, of how we do things here. A financial system of me, or maybe let me say, of the business structure girl, won't be the same financial system of the Growcircle Academy. While two of us are doing this financial system so that we can manage our money properly and all of that, the elements of that system different from person or from business to business. For example, you use QuickBooks, I use Odoo. Our systems are already different, right? You use Excel, I use Word. I use a table on Word. It's already different, right? You use marketing system, you do your marketing and advertisement through outreaches. I do mine through Instagram ads. Our systems are already different. We might have the same results, but our systems are different. And that's the point. The point is that when I come into your business, I'm supposed to follow your system. Same thing, maybe if you have a nanny or you have a house help or whatever, when they come into your house, they follow your system. When I was growing up, we had a random, if they say go and cook rice in my house as a child, it was 4 cups. I don't understand how people cook more than that. I don't know how we came to that number. I don't know, but it was 4 cups. You go into another person's house and they say go and cook rice, and the person carries 2 jerrycans of rice and pours it on fire. That's how they do it. It's strange to me, but it's not strange to them. Because that's their system and that's not my system, right? Some people's system is that they cook food every day. That's not my system. But now, say I have a help that stopped working with me and we're cooking food. Maybe you make the stew every Saturday, put it in the freezer, and then they come into your house and you cook every day. And they start telling you that, no, now, they are making it not work anymore because this is how you do your stuff over there. They've left here. So, but it is repeatable, it is understood, and there's no guesswork, right? I saw this breakdown of the word system, and I've kept it ever since because it just makes sense to me. A system saves you so much time, energy, and money. Always, if you follow it, if it works, saves you time, energy, and money every time. And there's this popular quote by one author I really like. James Clear says, you don't rise to the level of your goals. Yes, you have goals. You will fall to the level of your systems, meaning that if you don't, you can have a goal to pray every day, to read your Bible every day, to run every day, to do all of those things, to do health checks every 3 weeks. But if you don't put in place a system that's going to help you do it, you will keep coming back to not doing it. And you will be disappointed, but you will not do it because it is the system that helps you form the habit that now makes it almost normal for you to do it. But while you are preparing for it to become normal, you need to follow the system consistently. If you don't, for example, log in the sales you make at every point that you make it, you will keep losing money, even though one of your goals is that you want to have efficient management of money. If you don't if you don't do a budget, you will keep overspending. If you don't have a way that you plan to save, you will keep not saving. You will keep not investing. It will be your goal again next year. You will still not do it. Why? Because you see that thing of setting up something on your phone in 5 minutes, pim, 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 take money out of my account. That thing is more powerful than you saying that I will do it. Create a system, and that's why you hear things like automate your system, so that as much as possible, the human element of I will do it later comes out of it. You don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So why do systems matter? First of all, clarity and consistency, scalability, streamlined effort. You are not here and there and there and there and there. You are able to do one thing per time. You are able to get results from time to time. Continuous improvement, focus, and control, right? With a system, you can focus, get your results, and move on. You don't have to, because sometimes, again, for example, I mentioned, how I started to ensure that I could read my Bible regularly with my alarm. At the same time, I noticed that I also had to read my Bible in my hardcover Bible and not on my phone. Because if I was reading on my phone and maybe a message came in from work, this one I'm not even going to scroll on Instagram. This is not even Instagram. This is work, right? A message came in from work. I could literally drop everything and go because it's work. But when it's my hardcover Bible and my phone is just somewhere away from me, at least I will finish. It's when I finish, I pick my phone and now see it. Those kind of things came as a result of me understanding that for this time that I am in and for what is happening right now, I need to refine my system. And that's how we come to how do you create systems? Okay, so before that, you probably already have a system for doing most things, right? The problem is that in many cases, they are not defined. And so without being defined, you cannot exactly document or outline them. And so it cannot be implemented effectively. Especially for business systems, you can actually implement it yourself because it's now second nature to you, it's habit. But for your employee, it's not second nature. So they will do what they like, and the next person will do what they like, and the next person will do what they like. And before you know it, you are running a full-blown chaotic organization because everybody has their idea of how this thing should be done. I have this very nice example I use. I like to cook fried rice. I love fried rice, right? But you know that it is fried rice, but 6 people can have 6 different ways of cooking fried rice, right? And if I go into for example, the place and I buy fried rice, I expect that the fried rice I'm buying here in this Ilukoju place is the same as the one I would buy in VI. If it's different, there's a problem. Sometimes they are different, that's straight for another day. Well, the point is that it might just be because one person used too much oil and less Maggi, or one person used this particular condiment that is not in the list, and it changes the way that everything tastes. But that's the point. If your systems are not documented, you cannot hold anybody accountable to not following them. Remember, for your business structure to be solid, accountability is a part of it, right? Systems, your job description, for example, if there's no job description or there are no KPI documents for an employee, you can't hold them accountable to not doing their job. Because first of all, what is their job? Right? Exactly. So the point is that when you start to think of, oh, I want to grow my business, I want to ensure that my business grows and gets better, it's important that you start to focus on actually getting things done the right way, documenting stuff, writing things down, following the systems yourself before you ask another person to follow them. So how do you ensure that you create a fail-proof system? 5 steps. Define, meaning what is the system I want to create? Inventory management system, marketing system, financial system. I'm trying to think of another. Systems abound. Define the length and breadth of the system. Okay, it covers everything from adverts to outreaches, whatever. It applies to everybody in this organization. Anyhow you want to say it, but define it. And while I'm saying this, I also want to say that it doesn't have to be elaborate. It doesn't have to be fancy. All of these 5 things, all of these definitions might not exactly be more than 1 line. It's not expected to be cumbersome, because again, if it's cumbersome, many people will not be able to follow it, and you don't want that to happen, right? So you define it and then document it. What are the elements of this system? Your financial system, you have your software, you have your team member that is involved, you have your controls that you have created, you have your, your SOP that you've created that fall under finance. You have your policies that fall under finance. For example, payment policy, refund policy, all of those kind of things, cashback policy, if you have anything like that, gifting policy, if you have anything like that, SOPs for updating cash flow system. Whatever it is that covers finance, we bring everything together and then say this is our financial system. When you have documented your financial system, then you communicate it. If you create a financial system now on your laptop and you keep it on your laptop, well, you have just wasted a number of hours, minutes, or even days. Because if you don't communicate it, nobody's going to be able to follow it because they don't even know it. communicate this system to the people who need to use the system. It is important that you communicate this to people who need to know them. If it's a system for the house, if you have a nanny, a house help, a cleaner, this, a that, let them know. We don't eat more than 2 cups of rice per time. Please measure the oil that you use. Use a tablespoon. Every morning, put 1 banana, 1 tangerine, 1 ribena in the children's boxes. Every day, just communicate it. Don't say you expect them to know. There's something business owners do, and that is what they are supposed to know. Oh, somebody is supposed to know that they are supposed to log in every sale made. Immediately it is made. Unfortunately, no, they don't know. Because maybe where they are coming from, they don't do it like that. When they finish selling throughout the day, they lump it and they say we made 200,000. It's possible. There's that thing about us thinking people should know stuff. But I hope you know that if I was working in KPMG and PwC, they will give me a whole new orientation. Even if I'm coming in as senior manager of this and that and that. Why? Because we have our own way. You work in this bank. They say it's fine if your clients dash you money, take it. You work in another bank, they say if they dash you more than 50K, you must report it. You come and tell me now that they dashed you 200K, but you didn't know. They're going to ask you why, because you would have gone through an orientation. The point is we expect that if somebody comes into this place and just says they want to do you something, my people should know that no, now you can't do that. They don't know. In case you are one of those people who think they know, I'm here to bust your bubble. They don't know until you tell them. Don't say that your nanny should know that she shouldn't eat the last 3 pieces of meat in your. They don't know. So you tell them. You don't tell me things are finished when there's only 1 left. Tell me when it is 4. They don't know min-max until you tell them. And if you don't tell them min-max, that if you have less than 10 cubes or seasoning left, it is out of stock. Write it down so that next time we're going to the market, we'll buy. Then you are cooking and there's none, or it's 1 and you need 2, and you're complaining. You have not solved any problem because you didn't tell them. And like I said, it does not have to be fancy. Just say, this is what we do here. Even if the way that plates are arranged in your plate rack affects you, if it is not done properly, teach them. This is how, please arrange my plate rack like this. Please make my coffee like this. I have a coffee story that is hilarious, but it is what it is. I take coffee a lot, and I normally just make my coffee myself. I sit down in the morning. But I got so busy I couldn't make, so I said, okay, my house up at the time, please make it for me. And I just said 2 spoons and 2 sticks of sweetener. You see 2 spoons, right? In my head, everybody knows it's teaspoon. And when she brought the coffee to me, I'm like, this coffee is smelling strong, but it's fine. And I took it, and I'm like, no. I'm like, how many spoons did you use now? And she was like, 2. That's what you said. I'm like, let me see the spoon. That's where the problem was. 2 tablespoons compared to 2 teaspoons. What that means is that she's giving me 3 times the amount of coffee I use. A teaspoon is 5 ml, a tablespoon is 15 ml. But you know it's my fault because I said 2 spoons. It's small, but that's where the problems lie. In communication of your systems, of your policies, of your SOPs, in communication. I tell people, if you are documenting an SOP and you have a technical term that the lowest person on the cadre of your business is not going to understand, you have not documented it properly. Because you see, yes, the big girls and the big boys will be around every day, the people that understand. But on that one day when they will not be around, everything could fall apart. I went to a pizza place on my way from work, on my way from church one Sunday, and just noticed that this person at the till was fumbling, like he wasn't getting it right. And I'm like, what's happening here? And he said to me, apologies, ma, this is actually not my work. The person that is supposed to be here today is not around. We didn't know she wasn't going to come. And I'm not able to sell things. I'm not able to understand this software. You know, it feels like a normal stuff now, like software, just come, press it, everybody's okay. But the person didn't understand it because there is no one pager to say, click start, then click sell. You go to places, you see they have that thing is on their wall, how to clean. You would think that it's not that bad now. Is that bad? If it's going to make sure everybody's able to do their work, then that's the level of communication that you need. It is important that you communicate at the level that everybody can understand. Everybody that will be involved in the use of that document, in the use of that system, must be able to understand what you have said without it being like you have just said many more. When you communicate successfully, start implementing. Ensure you follow up on your ensure you follow up implementation. You don't have a choice. Because if you communicate and you don't hold people accountable to implementation, we have just wasted our time. We've just had another time wasting roundtable talk. We've wasted our sheets of paper. We've wasted our ink. We've wasted our time, and we've wasted our mind space having unnecessary discussion. Hold your team. First of all, hold yourself, and then hold your team, if you have one, accountable to the implementation of your systems. They will get used to it, but while that change is happening, you need to hold them accountable. And then in implementation, you will see that, okay, I think there's a gap here. I think we could do this better. I think we can work around this. All of that makes you improve your system. And then improve your system and go back again. It's a loop. When you are improving, you will see that you need to document afresh, communicate afresh, implement afresh, improve again, go back to the top. You will get used to it. But while you're working on it, please hold everybody accountable that everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. Now, I've been talking since, and you're probably wondering, okay, so all of these things, how exactly do they make my business stable or profitable, or make my life stable or profitable? They are all abstract. Okay. So, let me do drum rolls like somebody did last time. The business structure framework. So, this is the real thing. But if we don't talk about the building blocks and we jump into this, you will not exactly understand why you need to do some things the way you have to do them, right? A business structure framework is you now building your own foundation for your house. You see, all of those things, vision, mission, everybody needs to have that. But it comes together in different ways to give you your own framework. So a business structure framework, basically, I don't know if this word is somewhere else. I honestly just made it up. Anyway, it's a fusion of the components we have mentioned earlier, the vision, the mission, and all of that, in different forms to create documents, to create activities that will guide your business. This same vision, mission, strategic objectives, all of those things, if you put them in a different way, it will form a business structure framework for another person. But you need to ensure that you're creating one that works for you, works for your personal life, if you're creating a structure for your life, or works for your business, whatever it is. Now, this here, these 7 things here are the elements of your business structure framework. Remember, I mentioned strategic objectives that help you come from your vision to your goals, meaning that at some point you will have goals, right? So your vision and mission statement, so and so business, the vision of the business structure girl is to be a leading consultant for African businesses building stable businesses. The mission for the business structure girl is to support African business building transgenerational businesses. Simple and short. So I'm not wasting my time. I know what my vision is for the business structure girl. I know what my mission is, right? And so in everything I'm doing, I don't want to work with somebody who wants to just create a business, make money, and disappear. I want you to build a business that you can give over to your children. You can expand and have your own board of directors. You can expand into other countries. You can expand into other cities. And even if you stay in one country and in one city, you are building a business that if you now decide that, you know what, I want to come out of this business, you can sell for good money and make yourself some really good fortune. That's my mission. That's why I go on Instagram and I'm talking and I'm doing carousel and I'm sitting in the midnight and I'm writing a book and I'm helping people create policies and templates because I want them to have businesses that outlive them. Businesses that when they say you want to inherit, their children are excited to inherit it. They are not like, what? I'm a pharmacist and I know many pharmacists that the children of the owner are pharmacists, but they will never work in their father or their mother's business. I don't want you to build that kind of business. I want people to build businesses that you can showcase in LBS and do case study of because it is solid. I want it to move from the business you know today to something that when they ask somebody where they work, they are proud to say they work with you. That's what I want to help people do. So what are the goals of the business? You have short-term goals, you have long-term goals. With my vision and mission that I explained, you can already see why it's important for you to have a vision and mission statement. Your business goals also so that you are not just sitting blank. Whether it's financial goal, whether it is personal development goal, whether it is marketing goal, whether it is visibility goal, whatever goal you have for your business, you want to be more visible as a business owner, you want more people to know you, you want to make 200 million in revenue, you want to it is that you're aiming for, you need to have them outlined. There's a common mistake of business owners that they do, which is that they have only financial goals. It's not enough. You need to have goals for other areas of the business. You need to have employee development goals. You want to send your employees to LBS and pay for them. That's a goal. You want to be able to give people opportunity to do trainings abroad. That's a goal. You want to ensure that you train at least 4 of your employees in a stand. That's a goal. Have goals that are not just tied to the money we make. Yes, you make money, but you need to also have goals like what your business will look like overall, the kind of joy and excitement that your team members will have that they work for you. You know, there are places that people work, that when you ask them they work, they will just say, I work for a school. They will not call the name of the school because they know that nobody knows the name of the school. But you want to build something that they might not know the name of your school now, but in 3 years they will. And you want your team members to be proud. I was at an event last on Wednesday, and my cousin had a 10th year anniversary of our business. Yes, we've been hearing employees are unstable, but this person has someone, she's had a business for 10 years, and she has someone that has worked with her for 9 years plus. She has another one that has worked 8 years plus. She has a number of them that have worked 5 years plus. So trust me, yes, there are issues, but people are still finding ways to keep employees because there are goals backing those employees. So then you need policies. Policies in business, you have both. If you have employees, you have employee-facing policies, and you have client-facing policies. Employee-facing policies will be things like disciplinary policy, leave policy, all of those kind of things, code of conduct, things like that. Outward-facing policy, you have things like your privacy policy, you have your refund and returns policy, you have your payment policy, you have your any other policy, gifting policy, all of those kind of things. Just policies are documents that show what your expectations are and what your obligations are, what you expect from the people that you are sharing this with. But in the policies as well, you also have obligations. So obligations, for example, for leave policy, everybody is entitled to 3 weeks, 20 days leave policy, but the expectation is that they give you so and so and so number of weeks. They apply a number of weeks ahead so that the business can structure itself, something like that. Then you have standard operating procedures, basically documents that outline in clear terms how to get tasks and activities done. Any activity in your business that you want to have a what's it called now? A consistent outcome for needs an SOP. Whether that's cleaning, whether that is production, whether that is banking cash, whether that is procurement, whatever activity that needs to have a consistent outcome needs an SOP. Then job descriptions and KPIs to guide your team members to know what is expected of them and what they will be judged by, whether they're doing well or not. An organogram, basically levels of reporting lines and levels of grades within your organization, CEO, managers. These depending on how many people are there. I would say that even if you don't have a team, based on the vision you've created for your business, you need to create an SOP. What that does for you is that when it's time to employ, say you don't have a team now, when it's time to employ, you know which team member you need to get first, based on your strengths, your weaknesses, and some other things that, I mean, you might not be able to cover here. And then if you have a team, but your team is not as big as what the vision, for example, maybe you know that one day you're going to be a 100-man team, but right now you are 12. You want to create your organogram for where you are, direct reporting lines and all, then create a future-facing organogram that says somebody who is a shop floor manager right now can become a district manager, a country manager, an area manager, so that as your employees work with you, they are able to postulate where they can get to. Challenge for many businesses is that people don't see a career path, so they don't stay. Because I cannot be a sales girl for 10 years. If I was working with the federal government, I would have been level 1, level 2, level 4 officer at some point, right? If I was working in a bank, I would have been this person and then manager, assistant manager, whatever it is. But for many businesses that people stay with, they can see a path because they're working with you to grow your business. They're working with you to grow your business, but they're also growing a career. So you need to ensure that they can see that path to career growth in working with you. It's one of the best ways that you can drive employee retention. No, and okay, we'll talk about it later, but and it would also come from, again, your mindset about this business. Reason why the vision should be clear from the beginning, because with the vision clear in your heart, you can have a better mindset about the business. You will not be, holding back when it's time to grow in a certain level or when it's time to do certain things. So it's very important that that organogram is clear. You have one for now, then you have one for future facing, where people can see what is possible, where people can, when an employee buys into your vision, buys into your mission, and they see what is possible, it's easier for them to stay with you than to be hoping for the next extra 5,000 naira on their salary. Okay. Then compliance requirements. Compliance requirements, because you could have done everything right, but if you are not compliant and one government agency comes after you, you are done. Unfortunately. So whatever it is that you need to do, and that's why you need to understand your industry, understand your business. What are the compliance requirements in this business? How do I go about them? If you are running a pharmacy, for example, you need to have a license, you need to have some other things. If an average business in Nigeria needs to have some tax documentation done, all of those filings and all, find out what they are and do them. Sometimes you even don't really need to pay any money. You just need to file. So please, for whatever your line of business is, you want to ask questions, you want to do what you're supposed to do and ensure that you do it right, so that your business does not suffer after you have put everything in place, and then one banner over your business by a government official makes people think you're doing something that is wrong, right? So how do you ensure that your systems and your structure work? Are we together so far? I don't even know how long I was supposed to use, but we have almost used 2 hours, so I want to run.
Yes,
but are we
together?
together?
Yes,
Thank
we
you.
are.
Thank you. So how do you ensure that your systems and your structure work? The most important thing for me is that you commit to implementation. If not, you will have wasted your time, you'll have wasted my time, and we could have as well been here singing Mini Mini Mani Mo or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Whatever it is, there's always one step you can take right now. Trust me, there's always that one step. So we've already started talking about it. If you don't have a vision or a mission yet, you are supposed to already be, oh, if I'm coming. You are started to think about this and say, okay, you know what? I need to start working on my mission. Or what kind of SOPs do I need in my business? Or what kind of policies? Oh, do I have an organogram? Is your organogram worthy? Do I need to move on? Whatever. But please start thinking about the implementation steps you take after this. Now, with commitment to implementation, you need to also think about your mindset. One of the myths when I talk about structural business, they're like, it's too expensive. And my first question is really expensive compared to what? First of all, let's just be clear. Structuring a business is not expensive. I'm going to come here and say, for example, from my end, I have a 5,000 naira book, a 10,000 naira book that will give you practical steps to structuring whatever business you have, complete with a printable workbook. So that can be, nobody, a business owner in Nigeria, can tell me that is expensive, because that money cannot even get you a complete movie outing. You probably buy tickets, but there's no popcorn. But that's still for another day. But let's even say, okay, you say, oh, that's not what you're talking about. So they build you 1 million naira to structure your business. You then need to count your cost. Is the business worth it? Can the business make this money over a certain period of time? Is my peace of mind worth it? Is my time worth it? Is it whatever? But you must believe that your business and you yourself are worth it to even be able to go on that journey and start doing business structure. Then, of course, your vision and mission again. Why did you start your business? Where do you see your business getting to? Answering these two questions clearly will change everything about your business and how you handle your business. If you don't know this, or if you've never thought of it, if you felt like all this vision and mission thing they're talking about didn't concern me, please let that be what you will do first. If you're a Christian, believe in God, believe in the Holy Spirit, go back and ask God to show you what's the vision for this thing. If there's no vision, you might as well pack it up and use the remaining money in the business to buy a car. And know that you are done, you have tried your best, and you are going home. Or use the money that you have made to go day and rest. But if you want it to be something that's worth your while, then have a clear vision and mission. And follow through. Follow through, push through, stay true to your vision and your mission. Can your vision and your mission change? I believe sometimes it can, but that would be dependent on many things. Then understand what your most valuable resources are. Your most valuable resource is not your money, it's not your building, it's not any of that. It is your time, your brain power, and your mind space. You see your time, I can't even talk again. 2 hours, if you spend it on something else and I spend mine on something else, we will not have the same results. You are here learning to structure your business, put some structure to your life. Someone else is there doing something else. You know that 2 of you can have the same results. If you implement, by the way, please. So your brain power, that is you. So what that means is that you then need to focus on developing that. In using your time more efficiently, you will look for things you can outsource. You will look for things that you can pay somebody less than you would actually. In developing your brain power, you will start to learn better things. You will start to, see how you can develop yourself, read more books, get more understanding as a business owner. In developing your mind space, you will start to declutter your mind more often, write more things down, practice meditation, sit down with yourself, think about your business, build a beautiful picture of your business in your mind, that picture will keep you going. That picture will make you show up again tomorrow and show up again next week. And if you fall down once, you will stand up again because your mind is full of the possibilities of that business. And I dare say, guard your time, your brain power, and your mind space very jealously. Of course, document everything. Your mind is for coming up with ideas, not for holding them. That's why you wake up, you think, this would be a very good idea to do this business, to do my business. By the time you have your first meal of today, you forgot it. Because, well, your mind brought up the idea, but you can't hold it because many things are happening. So as much as possible, I keep a notebook by my side, but I also write a lot of things on my phone. Just find how you want to document things. You might not, something might even occur to you. You might not even exactly understand how you're going to do it. Just write it down somewhere. The day it comes back, you will get better idea about it. You will see how you want to use it better. Document everything that comes. In the same vein, if you are running your business solo, for example, document your expenses, your income. It helps you to be able to understand how far you have come and how you are able to do better with the business going forward. Then, as a business owner, your personal brand is key. You can't say you have integrity as a core value of your business, but you are yourself and not somebody that, deals with integrity. Or you can't say that you are building a global brand and you show up stably. Or, just make sure personal brand aligns with what your business is. What people see in your business is what you want, or what people see in you is what you want them to associate with your business. For example, you can't say that you are a weight loss coach and you have, excess weight here and there. You have to show up and come correct as much as possible. Then accept that you can't do everything at the same time. You win some, you outsource some, you lose some. Accepting this fact ahead of time will run a stable business. You understand that, I have a core value of this. It doesn't align with this person. I'm going to lose it and that's okay, right? You understand that I have a vision to do this, and doing this is not going to make sense for us right now. So you give it out, outsource it. You have to do a training. You have to meet an investor. That's when somebody wants to do something. You take it out, you lose it, you outsource it. Accept ahead of time. So you don't start trying to cut corners when those realities start to show up, because it will show up. For example, I have a full-time job and I'm running a personal brand, right? Means that on some days when somebody wants me to teach, or somebody wants me to sit on a panel, or somebody wants me to maybe do something for them, I won't be available because I have another engagement with my full-time job, and fairness is a core value of mine, and so I'm not going to rob Peter to pay Paul, right? My one-on-one sessions, my calendar is set up in such a way that you can't book it before 5:30 p.m. on Saturdays, because I am at work. And even if I'm working from home, I will not take a call at a time when I'm supposed to be doing my full-time job. That is me accepting that I win some, I lose some, and I outsource some. Somebody wants me to do a training for maybe some things that, yes, I have an idea, but it's not really my thing. I say, okay, you know what? I know someone that can do it. I have made peace with that ahead of time so that I can run a stable life. Imagine that I have a full-time job and I leave my calendar open and somebody books a call and they need me to show up at 10 a.m. and I have work. Then I will not start oscillating. Will I lie to them at work? Will I tell the person that I'm sick? Will I start being anything, right? So make peace with the fact that this is where I am right now. I can do this, but I can't do that. Opportunities emerge. I will do better things. And like I mentioned the calendar. So if you don't have a calendar as a business owner, or you don't use a calendar consciously, please, please, and please start. Or even in your personal life, I mean, say you have some other things you want to do, just have it helps you streamline stuff. I have 3 calendars that are merged such that my work email, the calendar, my personal email calendar, and then my business email calendar, I sync them such that if there's a work requirement at a particular time, nothing else can enter the calendar. And at that time, I'm not flustered. I don't have to be in 4 places at the same time. I'm not running helter-skelter and trying to cut corners. Because if you don't do these things ahead of time, when the reality shows up, you will start having to cut corners. You start having to tell white lies. You start having to run from here to there. And it's not the best thing for you, right? So it's important that you accept ahead of time what you're able to do and work with that. When maybe, for example, if you don't have a team member now, you can only do so much. When you have a team member, you open it up a little more, you can take on more. Have more team members, you can take on more. And you continue to do that until you set your business on a path where you can actually do the things that you desire to do for the business, and you can get better results from time to time. So I think I'm done. I've exhausted my slides. If you have questions or comments, I'll take them now.
All right, the floor is opened. Yes. Thank you, Aderonke. Thank you for sharing that emoji. Please, can we start pouring in our emojis too? And if you have questions, please, this is a good time to ask your question. You can unmute your mic. You can type on the chat. Questions. Okay, Aderonke.
All right, thank you very much. Mine is not a question, it's just a feedback. Thank you so much for the beautiful session. I've written and written and written. For me, I mean, the major acronym I'm going away with is system, saving you so much time, energy, and money. And that you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And for me, what also struck out was the fact that every area of our life is intertwined. And if we leave one area of our lives, if we leave any area of our lives falling, it somehow spills into every other area of our lives. So we can't escape it. We just need to have systems in place to ensure that everything works. So I want to say thank you again for your time. Thank you for your valuable time. I mean, it's obvious that this is someone that makes the best use of our time. We appreciate you again. Thank you. All right.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the feedback.
Thank you, Aderonke. So do we have any other question? Akintunde says, thank you for the presentation.
Thank you.
Any other question? Okay.
Yeah, no questions. I take it I'm a very good teacher and everybody understood.
Everyone understood. So more, just as you said, commit to implementation. So we're saying to you, we're going back to the drawing table to commit to implementation. Everything you've stated, I'm here with my notepad, and I'm sure everyone on the call also has theirs. And Aderonke has said she has been taking notes, right? So I'm hoping that every other person on the call has taken lots of notes. Thank you, Jai. Jai says, thank you very much for your presentation. So we appreciate you. We appreciate on behalf of Tosi and Kisulire. Yes, we want to say a big thank you. And okay, okay, Damope says, let's go to the chat. Damope says, no question from my end. It was well simplified and I could see myself clearly and now know what to do. Great presentation. So thank you for the feedback. Yes, thank you for the feedback, everyone. So it's been 2 hours of learning. Yes, and we are loaded. We are loaded, right? So we are going back to the drawing table. That's what I would say. So on the call we have, I'm sure we have a new attendees who do not know about the Growcircle community. So for the Growcircle community, a global online community for fast forward thinking individual, right? Are you intentional about your growth, your personal growth, your business, yeah, your personal and business growth while contributing significantly to your sphere of influence. So the Growcircle community is that community where you want to join. So we would have the link shared on the chat. So for those persons who are yet to join the community, so let's have it shared. And also on the call, we have the participants on the DAP, the 90 Days Accountability Program. So we want to encourage the participants on the call. That's the 90 Days Accountability Program. To launch their key milestones. So this is from your coach. Where she's encouraging you all to launch your key milestones. And we will be closing out the launch model next week. So please, this is an encouragement from your lead coach. So please ensure that you launch your key milestones this week. So once again, we'll wrap up right now. It's been a stretch. It's been a stretch. So